This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And we welcome you to the Fatal 4-Way, a very special edition of the Fatal 4-Way live here on ONTV, along with Hollywood Q, Quadell Edwards, Brian Boff, Eric Scherer. I'm Jason Klaus. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Easy for me to say. Too many T's in one concentrated block of time right there. But we invite you to spend the next hour, pull up a chair, let's get cozy. We're going to be talking about the year in review, 2025 in professional wrestling. And this year, like any other year, has not been short on headlines and topics of discussion. And if you go back into the archives of this show, beginning in January, it's kind of fun to see where we were at, or what we've talked about, and how things have transpired. But when you look at 2025 as a whole, it seems like there's a couple of things that stand out head and shoulders above the rest. The one being John Cena. We've talked about it, and since the last time we were on the air here on ONTV or on the PFC network, John Cena has had his last match. A losing effort against Gunther on Saturday night's main event last weekend, which culminates this year-long retirement tour, the Last Time Is Now tour. So we'll start here tonight, gentlemen. I mean, would you agree that John Cena's retirement tour was one of the major headlines? What's wrong? What?
The camera shot had Q's head floating right there, so we could see the camera. We were laughing because of it.
I was like, what, do I got a boogie or something? Q, when you look at Cena's retirement tour, which culminated with this match on Saturday night's main event, your overall grade for how they did this?
Going right into that, huh? Oh, my God, man. I would give it a D.
Ooh, that's brutal.
I would give it a D. There were so many expectations that I remember coming up here earlier this year, probably in the beginning of the year, we're talking about what we want to see out of John Cena. I remember I said they're just going to play the greatest hits and just ride on out, but then they did the heel turn. We've seen so many ups and downs on this roller coaster, and then it just fell off the rails and everyone died.
Brian, how about you?
Double D's.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm trying to think. I was like, what were the highlights? And then obviously there was some, and then we'll talk about those later for sure when we get talking about some of the top moments. But for the most part, it's just bad moment after bad moment for me. The heel turn that really didn't evolve to anything, to just drop it so we can go back to face, so we can finish this up. Everything with The Rock and Travis Scott, just like everything that you said, was just so brutal.
Well, I actually talked about this last night on the Pro Wrestling Rewind podcast. It was all about John Cena, whether or not he was wrestling's last real superhero. And that my co-host on there, Bernard Wilson, said pretty much the same thing. It could have been so much more. It could have been this, it could have been that. But what we got, and what your analogy of, just dropping the whole heel turn, it felt like a rushed thing where we just have to put a bow on this at this point. And that's that's what sucks. I mean, we got a really good match between he and AJ Styles.
Yeah, and the thing is, with that drop, I feel like most of us weren't even mad that they did it that quick. We was like, thank God, because it wasn't working. Let's try something else. I'm not even mad where normally I would have been like, oh, really? Like, that was terrible. But no, it was like, good, let's go.
Right. What about you, Eric? What do you think about the whole Cena thing?
Everything you guys already said. I'll give it a C. I'll be a little more generous.
C for Cena.
C for Cena. Yeah, the best part of that whole heel turn was just that German kid.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm glad they dropped it when they did. They could have dropped it sooner. I guess they slowly tried to transition him back to face.
Yeah.
It could have been better last year. I heard him say he wanted 200 dates or something.
Yeah, he wanted to do a full schedule, and they were like, no.
Yeah.
That would have made a huge difference, I feel like, because with the amount of dates that he did have, everything felt so rushed, you know. I was optimistic about the heel turn because we sat here for the last, almost 10 years. God, would he just turn heel? And then we got it, and while I appreciated the shock value and the way it was executed, that's why I went to Vegas for WrestleMania. Like that night, I'm like, this is what we're doing. We're going out because I wanted to be a part of that. And what we got at WrestleMania between he and Cody Rhodes, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't the worst main event in WrestleMania history, but damn, I mean, in terms of what do you feel?
I'm not going to say worst WrestleMania main event. I'm going to say worst WrestleMania main event ending in history for me.
Was that the Travis Scott 10-minute walk down?
Yeah.
Was that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The non-wrestler guy.
And when you were in the stadium, it completely sucked the air out of whatever was left in that match. I mean, it's like, God bless America. What are we doing right now?
Real quick, just because you said air and we're talking about John Cena,
Yeah.
and I feel like we should mention it. Did you see there's a guy trying to sell air from John Cena's last match online?
No.
Like $1,700.
Yep.
When you said suck the air, I'm like, oh my God, we have to talk about this real quick.
Yeah. Oh.
Genius
my God.
or crazy? Because I feel like it might be genius. Because somebody like the Paul brothers, before Logan Paul was even in wrestling, I feel like that was something he would buy just to like brag about. Look, I paid this much money for this. Something goofy like that. Like the people that buy the toast with Jesus' face on it. Like I feel like it's along those lines.
I mean, okay, great. It just goes to show there's people from all walks of life.
For sure.
I mean, if you're going to be spending.
It was taken down.
Oh,
my
God.
It was taken down. Yeah.
I'm going to repost one.
Yeah.
That's,
Fart in the jar.
I have a droplet of John Cena's sweat.
oh, man, I do have a bag of Stacy Keebler's hair from that got ripped out.
Man, that could have went a lot of ways. I'm glad.
All right. When you look back on 2025, we're going completely off the rails here tonight. When you look back on 2025, you look at some of the major headlines in professional wrestling. We saw this new deal, TV rights deal with ESPN, now becoming the exclusive provider of the premium live events for WWE. And by and large, with less than a handful of shows since this has become a thing, the critics have been brutal. And it makes you wonder what's that going to be like going into this new year. Also, can't go wrong if it's live. Also, AEW did their fair share of trying to make headlines, and usually at the front and center of that is President and CEO Tony Khan, who will take any and every opportunity to talk to the media and tell the world how great his product is. However, TV ratings have said otherwise, although their pay-per-view numbers still remain strong. Now, is that because they still operate in the traditional pay-per-view model? there's something to be said about that. But apparently, gentlemen, Sports Illustrated really took a liking to what AEW had to offer this year, and they put out a list. I'll go through it here in a minute. But before I get into this list, and this is Sports Illustrated's year-end awards for presumably all of wrestling, but you're going to see here in a minute why you're like, okay, well, who's watching this? Was there anything on your radar AEW-wise that stands out? They're like, wow, that was a cool moment for them.
Their War Games matches were better than WWE's
Okay.
by far.
Blood and guts.
Yeah.
We've talked about that
Yep.
too. Yeah.
For sure. I'm watching their Continental title tournament thing right now. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying that.
I haven't watched a bit of it. I think for me, you're not really an AEW fan, are you, Eric?
I need to start watching.
Oh, I don't know if you need to wait.
All I know of it is blood, a lot of color, bamboo shoots under fingernails, just all the shocking stuff.
Yeah, they're really doing everything they can to distance themselves in terms of presentation from WWE. They're very much in that challenger role in terms of the promotions and stuff like that. And I'm very critical of the organization, of the way it's run, of certain wrestlers on there that can't have a match without bleeding in it. I'm looking at you, John Moxley. Tony Storm, I think in terms of AEW in 2025, Tony Storm is probably the head and shoulders MVP of that entire organization. Just some of the matches that she put herself through, some of the ultra violence that we don't usually see in women's matches. She comes out there looking like Mick Foley in a Japanese death match, just gruesome. I do applaud their efforts. They had their first American Stadium show for All in Arlington, and it wound up, they wound up doing some decent business. Their TV rights deal right now, that's what's in question right now, especially when it has been formally announced that Netflix is going to acquire WBD, or a good portion of it. So there's a lot of question marks about where AEW is going to be. So let's see what real quick. Well, let me pull this up. This is Sports Illustrated's Pro Wrestling Awards for 2025. I'll start from the bottom and go up. Their Legacy Award went to John Cena. Tag Team of the Year, FTR. Can't really argue.
I like that, yeah.
100%.
Best on the mic is Tony Storm.
I told you my opinion. I remember how I said, like, if we were going to do best on mic, I would have said Dominic.
Yeah.
And then, did you see his comment the other day? How he said, looks like Division might take out my dad. I couldn't ask for a better Christmas present. I go, that's why I have him picked for mine. I'm like, that's such a good line.
Little digs.
Comeback Performer of the Year was Dragunov.
Okay. All right. You know what? I respect that.
I said I like Dragunov, and
Yeah.
I'm probably
I'm
a
a
huge Dragunov fan.
I'm a huge
But I'm
Dragunov
like,
fan.
I told Jason, I'm like, I don't know if what he did is enough for that category for me. Just holding on to the U.S. title for.
True.
But who else would you put over him? That's the question.
We ain't got time for me to sit there and think that.
Heel Turn of the Year went to Naomi, which is
Yep.
I dig it.
that's saying
Me too.
something.
She beat
when-
John Cena. Look at that.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, because
Man,
all
he
the
made it
headlines
easy, didn't
was from the Elimination Chamber, was from
Yep.
John Cena, and nobody really talked about Naomi.
On
What a
that same
brag.
show. On
What
that
a
same
brag
show,
for
she got
her, too.
attacked by Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it right there.
Yeah, what a good brag for her.
For sure.
I mean, that's huge. Like,
Yeah.
be like the year that John Cena finally turned heel, I got heel of the year.
Rivalry of the Year went to Hangman Adam Page versus John Moxley. I mean, in
I
terms
guess,
of AEW, that was their mark.
What would be WWE's for you?
rivalry?
Yeah, because I don't know of any.
Oh,
So I think that's
Punk
why
and Rollins.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the closest.
probably.
Wyatt Six and MFTs.
Next category.
Story of the year: Hangman Adam Page's redemption arc. Oops. Show of the year: AEW Double or Nothing.
Wow.
Promotion of the year: AEW.
Wow.
Match of the year: Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
That's my favorite.
I
That's
know
my
it is.
favorite match, man, right now.
When you said that, I was
Best in ring was Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Breakout star of the year: Kyle Fletcher.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I can see both,
I can
both
see
of
that.
those.
Yeah.
Women's wrestler of the year:
Drum. Oh no! Please no.
Mercedes.
I
Moné.
knew it.
That is probably the most egregious one on the whole list.
Oh man,
There's no way.
Yeah, that
Even
was
the
handy.
people that I know that are AEW fans do not like her.
Right. And men's wrestler of the year: Hangman Adam Page.
It's kind of hard not to when you gave them the rest of them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just come on.
But a lot of those too, like I said, if I looked at WWE like feud and storyline, what was a good storyline that came out of WWE?
You know,
Everything was short and or failed.
Yeah,
they
nothing's
played it real
fleshed
safe
out.
this year. WWE played it real safe.
And when we started to see the ESPN deal come into play,
Yep.
and I mean activated way faster, because this thing wasn't supposed to start taking off until April for WrestleMania. That was supposed to be their big launch on ESPN. And then WrestlePalooza became a thing, and it's like, wait a minute, what are we doing right now? You're in such a rush. That's why we talked about on the air here. They're literally squeezing every bit of juice out of this thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. They are not worried right now. The decision makers are not worried about the product that's being put out there. They're worried about how much money can we get out of this thing. Between the Netflix deal, between ESPN, like they're not going to be hurting for a long time.
Right.
But at the same time, you're compromising what brought you to the dance.
Yeah.
Why are you not seeing this?
Right.
So when
That
you look
list-
at it, it is very safe booking.
Yeah.
Very safe.
That list speaks volume.
Yeah.
Of how WWE was pretty much ran this year. It was a big difference between this year and 2024. Like, I can find more moments in 2024 than I can in 2025.
No, for sure. It's funny because there was a few moments that were 2025 that I thought were 2024. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
So when you look back on this past year, Eric, we'll start with you. When you think about moments or matches or things of this nature that stand out, like, wow, this is what solidified my fandom for pro wrestling, or this is what entertained me. What's the first one or two that come to mind?
Pressure's on. I really liked the Io Sky. Pressure's on. I can't think. Io Sky Rhea Ripley at Evolution. I really like that match. Where
That's a good
where
match,
that's the one where Naomi came out and
Yep.
and stole the belt.
Cash in, yeah.
But there's so many false finishes where I thought it was going to be over, They take it out into the crowd. Io's flying off.
All over the place.
Yeah, that was a really good match.
And I can appreciate that, and what volumes it speaks when you look at women's wrestling and how it's received now versus a decade ago. You know, we would not be having this conversation right now. We wouldn't probably be focused on women's wrestling right now. Not like it, and it just keeps, every single year. That's the one thing I will say. In 2025, I noticed there was a lot more emphasis put on the women this year on the weekly shows, on Raw, on SmackDown, prominently featured on PLEs. And it just goes to show this influx of new talent, like Stephanie Vaquer making her main roster debut, and look what she's done in such a short period of time. Tiffany Stratton became a legitimate main eventer. You know, her win over Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, like that was as big of a stamp of endorsement as you're going to get in WWE. Yeah. But then we start seeing like your Nikki Bella's making the return. AJ Lee is back, and it's like, man, oh man, they're really trying to. They're grasping for bring back the older fans, but look what we have here and now too. Yeah. I just wish they would pick better people than maybe Nikki Bella, but be that as it may.
I agree.
What about you, Brian? What's some moments or matches? I don't know why I can't.
I'll play off Eric's in two different ways. One, you took a match off the Evolution card. I would throw the whole Evolution card on there for a moment. Because me and Q were actually talking about it earlier. The amount of matches that were on there, it actually might be my PLE of the year.
Oh, wow.
Because you had the match that you were just talking about. What was the other ones we were talking about? Stephanie winning the Battle Royal to be the #1 contender.
The Intercontinental title.
The Intercontinental one, yeah. I mean, it was just match after match, because that was the three-way with Becky,
when Becky
Bayley,
did the
and
smooth.
she got that smooth finish, which is one of the few times that we were actually able to compliment Becky Lynch on something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like that was actually a bunch of good like matches right there. It stands out to me as one of the best PLEs of the year. And the other thing is you said about the Naomi Money in the Bank cash-in. We had the Steph cash-in with the fake injury. We actually had two decent cash-ins this year. It makes me think back to when we had Otis getting the briefcase.
Oh.
How terrible that was. So at least there was some moment. What was some of the other ones I said? The Braun Breaker spear on I Show Speed, where that one might have been one of the most viral moments. That was one of the ones I thought was like, man, was that last year? That was, or that was in February.
February.
Yeah.
Rumble.
I'm like, wow, I mean, that was a great moment. But yeah, it's like there was moments there that were like really stood out. Like I said, I wish my New Year's resolution is going to be watch more AEW, so that maybe I can think of some AEW moments along the way.
The Braun Breaker spear on I Show Speed really put Breaker on the national platform for the first time. And I think that's why we're seeing him in the position that he is now. He's going to get this first World Championship match on the first Raw of 2026 against CM Punk. And when they first announced that match, I'm like, man, they're rushing it. I really wanted to see this at WrestleMania. I want them to make or to take more time to make Braun Breaker a legitimate main event star. Because I just feel like they're rushing it right now. There's something that's missing for me. I'm not sure. He's getting there because his promos are getting
I wouldn't say the promo work between both of them, I feel like, is great. Like, even Punk, like, talking about his uncle and his father, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's what we needed.
I hope that winds up exceeding all expectations, but man, there is a contrast there between Punk and Breaker. Like, that is the size difference, the approach, obviously the experience. It's like, man, on one hand, I see CM Punk being that methodical veteran and doing that, breaking the rules and stuff like that. But my God, man, Braun Breaker, the youth, the athleticism, the power. He's like, it's not inconceivable to see him just roll right through CM Punk, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, if I can be honest with you. But we saw CM Punk this year finally regain the World Heavyweight Championship twice, actually. But, it's cool to see where he's at now versus how he was when he left WWE, the way he was in AEW. So to see this redemption story play out, like, for me, that's one of my golden moments from 2025. What about you, Q?
I agree with everyone, what you guys pretty much put out there, but I want to add, with Braun Breaker, when he turned on Seth Rollins,
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to add that moment on there because it just added another layer to him. Yeah, I feel like when he turned on Seth Rollins, that's when I seen like, you know what, this guy, he's gonna definitely if he don't become something after that, then something's wrong with the bookers, you know, because I feel like he's when I see this match coming up in January with him and Punk, if Braun Breaker wins that title, I would not be surprised.
Really?
I would not be surprised because I feel like Braun Breaker with the title may get that last piece that he needs
Yeah.
with that title.
Braun needs him more than CM.
And CM Punk is a better chaser. He is a much better chaser than he is. Once he got that belt, it's just like, okay, now what for Punk? You know?
Right.
Punk is just Punk. Punk is the best when he is chasing. He is the best when he is a heel. People are going to start getting behind Braun Breaker. You already got people barking in the audience. I'm watching TV. I'm starting barking, man. I'm into this guy. Like, you know, the whole show, pulling the shoulder strap down, so Kurt Angle-esque. And I'm like, man, you know what? Just go all the way with this young guy.
I thought he was Maxine Dupree when he was doing it.
I mean, I like what she do it too, you know. But yeah, I think Braun Breaker is also my rising star of the year. This has been a great year for him, and I think come January, he's going to go to a whole different level.
So, I mean, it's not out of the question. You know, it certainly is not. I just worry, man, like while we clamor for new talent, for new names at the top of the card, at the same time, like I found myself being low-key panicked, like, man, please don't mess this up.
Mess it up?
Because you look at some of the guys in the last year or two that they had it right there, and for whatever reason they didn't pull the trigger on it. LA Knight is the first one that comes to mind. That is going to bug me to no end for the longest time because you had a window of opportunity with this guy, and like, what is he doing wrong? Why do you keep punishing him? Why do you keep dangling the carrot in front of him? Like, you put Jey Uso, and look, I have been on the Jey Uso fan train for a long time. You took him, you had him beat Gunther at Mania, he had a run as the world champion, but now look at him. He failed for whatever reason. They put him back in the tag team. You want to talk about coming full circle, and not necessarily for the better, in my view. It's going to be better for him because he'll be able to regain that breath that he loses when he goes to the ring. But I don't know. The Jey Usos, the whole thing with him this year is it makes me feel weird, you know, because I was so happy when he won the title, but I was like, okay, man, now what? You got to do something here. And he never shifted into the next gear, I felt like. And then, like, dropped down to the point to where, well, we're going to put you with your do-nothing brother, Jimmy, and you guys are going to go back into the tag team division, which, hey, if they're going to do something with the tag team division, great.
Yeah.
They're perfect for that. Them and the New Day, the perfect cornerstones of that division. Otherwise, I don't know what we're doing with Jey Uso, but you look at like LA Knight, like I really wanted this guy to become the man.
I mean, think about it, though. WWE has a history of that. Like, look back, like, Perfect never got the title. Like,
Roddy Piper.
Like, there's so many that you look back, you're like, man, I can't believe that so many missed opportunities there.
Yeah.
But that was only because they were keeping the strap on Hogan forever, or one of his enemies of the most vile people in the world for that month.
Man, you got all these long title reigns. I mean, WWE is so big on long title reigns these days. I'm like, man, why do Cody got to hold it for a year? And, you know, Roman's got to hold it for 4 freaking years. I mean, dang.
Not only one, but multiple ones. It's
Yeah,
like, he had
like-
the whole heavyweight division locked.
If you look at the Attitude Era, you got Mick Foley who held it for a month.
Yeah.
Like, man, we would be like, oh, that was a failure. If you look at it today, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there for a minute, it seemed like a title was changing hands every month.
Yeah.
And sometimes 2-3 times a month if you're looking at the tag team championship during the Attitude Era. And people were very critical of that. We need longer title reigns, and then we get longer title reigns, and then people are pissed about that. It's like, where is the balance? I don't know. Like the Roman title reign didn't bother me. Like I was like, man, they're really reestablishing some credibility to the World Championship, and that's how I looked at it. The Intercontinental Championship, like Gunther did that.
Yeah.
He really reestablished the credibility of that championship.
The real final boss.
But your other titles, like the U.S. title, like I have a hard time remembering who is the champion at that. I know it's dragging off, but like I have to sit here and really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Matches. We've seen some marquee matches in 2025. Main events of PLEs, opening matches on Saturday night's main event, Monday Night Raw, everything else in between. Q, when you think of your match of the year, and I think we already kind of touched on it, when you look at your match of the year, was it the triple threat for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I'm going to say that one with Bianca, Io, and Rhea, but I'm also throw another one out there that kind of flew under the radar. It was a redemption, pretty much, of WrestleMania, and it was the SummerSlam match with Cody and John Cena when they start brawling all over the arena, and then the spot where they come from underneath the stage and he has Cody in a AA position and throws him down the ramp. I said that was a good redemption. I didn't like how he was a heel yesterday and
Right.
then he had to turn into a face, but whatever is needed. I say whatever is needed because WWE was pretty much hurting creatively around that time. I mean, the whole year, there was a lot of hurt on the creative. So to get a good match out of it, kudos.
That's a good one, and I wish we had gotten that kind of match at WrestleMania, but be that as it may. Brian.
I think the one that I think is going to get the majority of people's votes is John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And I mean, for so many reasons, it was just I remember I watched it. I was sitting there watching it at work even. I was just sitting there, just like watching them have so many other people's moves throughout the match, and obviously the highlight being Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And now all the lights going up, and then getting that moment. Like that moment will probably be forever etched in my mind. Other than that, like I had Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. I thought that was a great one. And then my low key under is Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez versus Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice. And that's where we saw the introduction of the demon puppet.
Yeah.
I actually just rewatched it again the other day. I'm like, I was laughing through the whole thing. I'm like, this was my funnest match of the year by far.
Those are good ones too. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, the easy answer is the Cena versus Styles.
Yeah.
Just what is it, a spot fest, a finisher
Yeah.
fest is beautiful. I really liked the TLC match, the tag team TLC match earlier this year too.
That's a good one too.
Everything's blurring together in my mind. Was that Andrade? Was he in that one?
Andrade and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Were in that.
Yeah.
Andrade had some good spots. I know you don't like him.
Well, I
We
just
love to
think
highlight
he's-
people he hates.
I just think he's an idiot. That's all. I mean, I just think he's an idiot. I mean, he's a fine wrestler. He's a good worker. He just doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't. he's again in the ring, bell to bell, he's solid. Gimmick wise, I'm not feeling it. I felt like when WWE announced that they were acquiring a stake in AAA, he was one of the first guys where I'm like, ooh, Andrade is going to flourish here. This is where he's going to flourish. And there were a couple of other guys that had come to mind where I'm like, man, if they put him exclusively on that AAA brand, that the name recognition would go hand in hand with both of them, you know, because while we're hardcore fans and we do know what AAA is, the acquisition by WWE opened that up to thousands of new fans that would never give it the time of day just because it wasn't based in America. It's a Mexican-based organization. And the numbers, the viewership numbers, now that they're under the WWE umbrella and leaning into some of our star power, Dominic Mysterio, you know, being front and center, has done wonders for AAA. We sat here earlier and talked about, you know, AEW, you know, probably is a little worried about their TV rights. And this comes on the heels of TNA announcing a new deal with AMC. And NXT is on the CW now. You know, they completed their first year with the CW, and their crossover has been nothing short of magical. They've done a lot of good. I mean, there's some things that could be tweaked here or there, but by and large, you know, this partnership with TNA and NXT has been beneficial and has provided some great moments. And the official acquisition of my breakout star of the year, Joe Hendry.
Dang it.
Oh, man.
I had to make sure I was, you know, you say his name and he appears, Eric Scherer. Are you a Joe Hendry fan?
We'll get you there.
You'll get me there. I haven't seen his matches. I've just seen him popping up from a motorcycle helmet and popping out of trash cans, all that fun stuff. Where did he just showed up recently? Where was?
He's been on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. With the Miz.
Yep. He's just, listen, my highlight, I know there's no formalities here, but my highlight this year, was going to WrestleMania. And it was to be in that stadium for some of those matches. Like we were there, we went there for Cena Rhodes. But Joe Hendry coming out, man, that lit that entire that place popped so loud. I like the TV, because I went back and watched it on demand, and it doesn't do it justice. You know, when his music hit and his logos and stuff flashed up, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, this is the greatest moment so far tonight. And then Austin running the four-wheeler into the barricade. That was fun, too.
Not about that.
But, yeah, but, you know, it's, in terms of match of the year, I really thought it would have been Cena Rhodes because of the story. You know, you had the opportunity for it to write itself, and you completely pooped the bed. So I have to go, and I can't believe I'm even naming a John Cena match as my match of the year, but that thing that he did with AJ was just, it was more of an emotional roller coaster than anything. Yeah, they did cool moves. Yeah, they did a lot of throwbacks and call-outs and things of this nature, but that Bray Wyatt spot, for me too, is like, when I watched that and all the fireflies had popped, like, dude, I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was powerful. And it was so organic.
Yep.
That's what I loved about it. That whole match was organic.
The other thing that I say about that match, I remember I texted you, I think right after I watched it too. It's the perfect like allegory of us being young wrestling fans, wrestling in our backyards, And when I was on a trampoline and when I'm wrestling my buddy, all I did was finisher after finisher after finisher. That's what it looked like. So when I was watching that match, all I was thinking was back to those moments of being on a trampoline and like giving my buddy Pete the razor's edge and locking my buddy Ty in a sharpshooter. It was like, that's what it was to me over and over again. I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was a really good match. The superstar of the year, wrestler of the year. I mean, across all boards, and there's a lot of viable options here. Sports Illustrated thinks it's AEW or Hangman Page. AEW fans think it's either Hangman Page or Jon Moxley. WWE hardcore fans, it ranges from Cena to Cody to Stephanie Vaquer. I've seen thrown out there. So for you, Brian, we'll start with you. Your wrestler of the year.
I broke it up to like men and women. Women-wise, I think it's a lock at Stephanie Vaquer and or Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany held that win streak for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie just won every single title you could possibly win, basically, at this point. From going to not even being on the brand to end up winning Crown Jewel. Mm-hmm. In like, what was that, like less than 6 months? Even?
Right.
I'm like, that's amazing. And then on the guy side, for me, it's, I said Dominic Mysterio, and I don't even remember what I put. Did I put Braun Breaker?
I think so.
I feel like it's Braun Breaker, or that might have been my breakout. Dominic Mysterio for me by far, though. He grew so much in this year.
Yeah, he did.
And he has so much potential.
Yeah, Dominic and Braun Breaker is what you put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, for like if I was to say like who I think is going to get biggest moves next year, I think I would also put Braun Breaker. As much as he was like one of the biggest wrestlers of this year, I think he's getting that belt at the beginning of the year, and I think he's going to do big things throughout the year. I think WWE would be smart to put their money on him. I think.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What about you?
I'll follow your lead and do men and women.
Clip that. That's my favorite moment of the show.
Rattled him.
That's what I'm here for.
First half of the year, Io Sky blew me away. I don't love her in this tag team Rhea Ripley thing. I liked when they were feuding. I thought they were going to go to a feud in Australia. I thought that they were building up to that earlier in the year.
Just wait. It'll happen.
Yeah. Because they kept saying, Io never beat Rhea, Io never beat Rhea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll revisit that for sure.
Yeah.
And men, Rising Star, Dominic, Dirty Dom. He doesn't do anything new. We've seen it with Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
But he does there's got to be a term for it. The
Mannerisms.
The funny heel,
Yeah.
not the low blow heel, not the chair
He's kind of what Rick Rude was for me back in the day. Like, you wanted to hate him, but I just loved watching him. He was like so funny out there. To show up with another man's wife's face painted all over your pants is hilarious. Even at like 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's a one-way ticket to getting your ass kicked is what's happening. Yeah, good. I mean, strong argument for Dirty Dom winning the Intercontinental Championship twice.
Ooh,
and
the pop he got when he went down the runway and he came back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be very heavily factored into 2026. I gotta believe he's on the trajectory that The Rock was, where he's becoming bigger than the Judgment Day. So it is just a matter of time before we see a separation. Wrestler of the year, Q.
Man, I love that Dirty Dom pick, man, because he dude is awesome. But I'm gonna throw out someone who actually had a bunch of accomplishments this year, and I gotta throw out Gunther. Like the things that he has done, pretty much. He was world heavyweight champion, the blemish is tapping out to frickin' Jey Uso. Like, I don't know. Yeet out of nowhere. He didn't yeet it on himself. Then you got the fact that he retired the top WCW name and the top WWE name in their respective eras. That's big, all in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's.
What legends do you see him taking out next year?
Oh man, you got Brock right there. You got
Jericho?
AJ right there. I
Jericho?
think Jericho might go a whole year.
They just
He
teased
comes
AJ.
back. Yeah, I can see Jericho going into the next.
He could take out quite a few.
But yeah, there's a lot that he could take out.
Orton.
Man. You know what? Bring Honky Tonk Man and let him chop him into dust.
Dude, look how red he's turning already. You're gonna get Jason going.
Yeah, chop that guy into dust. You know what? Even if you have like some of those semi-retired wrestlers out there that's wrestling on the independents, bring them in and let Gunther take them out. Like
Right.
he should take everybody out. And then that would lead up to Randy, which I know Randy probably got a few more years. So by the time you get to Randy, he could have been and took out about 10 guys, you know? So, yeah, AJ, I think he's the next one. AJ and Brock for next year.
Good pick for Gunther. My wrestler of the year would be CM Punk. The guy has been consistent. He's been solid. He has apparently, from what we understand, been just a class act behind the scenes, and that's what they need CM Punk in that locker room. And he's, at this stage in his career, he has been putting on some incredible matches. And right now, we sit here and he reigns as the world heavyweight champion. Long overdue in my view. We're going to run a quick timeout, and when we come back to finish up the show and the year, we will give our predictions for 2026. That and more when the Fatal Four-Way returns right after this.
Imagine a child in a classroom. He or she is trying to pay attention in class, but like many kids in our community, he or she faces a challenge. When the school week ends, the reality of hunger begins. Many children depend on weekday school meals, breakfast and lunch, for their nutrition.
That's where Blessings in a Backpack comes in. Each month, volunteers come together to pack nutritious meals for kids that they take home each weekend. With these packs, children receive more than just food. They get hope, energy, and the chance to thrive.
But we can't do it alone. Your support can help us reach even more children, ensuring they have the nourishment they need to succeed.
I've seen firsthand the difference a full stomach can make. These children are more focused, more engaged, and more confident.
Every child deserves to feel secure and cared for. With your help, we can make weekends worry-free for hundreds of children. If you're interested in making a difference, we have a number of ways that you can help.
First, we pack once a month on Wednesday mornings. We would love to have you join us for that. You can sign up through our Blessings in a Backpack Lake Orion Facebook page. We want to thank the Lake Orion High School robotics team for their faithful support in setting up the night before we pack each month.
Finally, if you can't be involved in any of those ways, we welcome monetary donations.
You would simply visit www.blessingsinabacpacklakeorion.org to donate. And together, we can ensure that every child returns to school ready to learn, grow, and succeed. Blessings in a Backpack, feeding the future one child at a time.
And we welcome you back to the Fatal Four-Way live here on ONTV, and we are putting the bow on 2025, and we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your weekend to give the show a watch. What we're going to do right now, we're going to go around the panel here and come up with a prediction, at least one of them, for the new year, 2026, just right around the corner. Q, we'll start with you. What is your big prediction?
This year, Jimmy Uso is going to win the Royal Rumble. No, I'm joking.
Thank God.
No, he's having babies.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say a superstar that's really gonna shine next year is a superstar we have not mentioned yet, and it is Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
We have yet to see him really come out and have that big moment. You know, he's had little spurts, but he get those teeth fixed, boom, off to the races. Look, when Roman got his new teeth, look what happened. He had a 4-year title run. Now let his oos get it. Get that grill together and go get you a title.
Nice.
That is a good one.
Yep. It's gonna be more of a. I'm gonna say it's my Christmas wish. We're gonna see the end of the era of all these 40, almost 50-year-old champions, and we're gonna finally push all the young talent. We're gonna see the Braun Breakers. We're gonna see the Dragunovs. We're gonna see the Dominic Mysterios, the Oba Femis. That's probably gonna be one that we should have said that for a breakout star.
Yeah.
Like since he's been on, actually had that match with Cody, TikTok is going nuts with people doing his walkout to everything. Yeah. My way on the way to work. My way to tell my wife she has to do the chores today. Like
walking into the gym. I seen him too.
And my other shout out, because he deserves a shout out. Like I said, I want to see at least more of him than the couple matches we saw. Psycho Clown from AAA. Love that guy. That mask is amazing. They got to market that thing.
You never know. Because they're starting to come out with iguanas for Mr. Iguana.
Which is way cheaper than the demon one, because I want the demon one. But I'm not paying $100 for it. I'm like, oh.
What about you, man?
Ooh. Man, I swear I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
Wishes. Wishes.
There you go.
I want Rising Stars. I want more Chelsea Green. I want
Oba.
Chelsea Green, yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
I want Oba Femi. I want to see more Joe Hendry. I want to see some of these young guys rising up.
Javon Evans, too. I'm going to throw his name out there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be somebody special.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. I don't know. I think in 2026, especially with the announcement of this new TV deal that they were able to secure, my prediction is on multiple schematics, levels, and statistics, TNA Wrestling will become the #2 wrestling promotion in the United States. With the uncertainty around All Elite Wrestling's TV deal moving forward and how that's going to affect their visibility, and TNA being able to secure a spot on AMC, which is a pretty widely carried platform, it is my opinion that TNA will officially become the #2 promotion, and it will knock AEW down to #3, which is not a bad thing, because for those of you who want to rewrite history, that would give us an opportunity to revisit an era where when we were growing up, the three-headed monster was WWF, NWA, and AWA. We now have that potential with WWE, TNA, and AEW. AEW has a lot of work to do. And I understand that they have their hardcore fan base, and look, I can respect that. But it is a very niche audience. If you really want to start moving the needle in the entire industry of professional wrestling, Mr. Khan, you need to relinquish some of the control and let wrestling people actually run your wrestling company. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. I do want to take some time here real quick at the end of the show to thank all of you who have tuned in with us each and every week that we go live here on ONTV. We appreciate Joe Johnson for coming in and running everything for us to make this a reality. I do want to give a quick shout out to Sean Grugel, who was here the first part of the year. He's off doing other endeavors and flourishing at them, so we wanted to send a shout out to him. Eric for sitting in here for the last few weeks. But Q and Brian,
I know those guys.
These are two guys that they've stayed the course throughout not just what we do here on ONTV, but I don't have a lot of what I would call real close personal friends. My inner circle is extremely limited. But I can say that these two gentlemen are very much featured in that inner circle, because beyond what we do in front of the camera, it is their friendship, their loyalty, their dedication to me as a friend. Our friendship it goes so far beyond what we do here on the network. And I just wanted to let you guys know how much I appreciate you both. And this would not be a thing without you guys either. I love you both. And we want to wish all of you a very safe and healthy, happy holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you may be celebrating. We hope it is a safe and happy one for you. And we invite you to join us in 2 weeks' time when we kick off a brand new year and a brand new season here on the Fatal 4-Way as a part of the PFC Entertainment Network, exclusively on ONTV.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.